Tradition holds that the dense, impenetrable forests of Scotland once covered most of the Highlands and Outer Hebrides, but fell to the Norsemen. The Scandinavians burned down the forests to dominate the trade in timber, and to prevent potential ambushes from forested areas. In Sutherland, the destruction of the forests is attributed to a dragon, the beast of the charred forests. This terrifying, powerful monster was born from a fire that burned for 7 years and lived in fire. It once stalked over northern Scotland, breathing fire and incinerating trees. There was no escaping its wrath, and people would abandon their villages to the dragon whenever they heard it was near. Only a man who saw it before it saw him could slay it. There lived once upon a time, in Sutherland, a great dragon, very fierce and strong. It was this dragon who burnt all the fir woods in Ross, Sutherland, and the kite, of which the remains, charred, black, and half-decayed, may now be found in every moss. Magnificent forests they must have been, but the dragon set fire to them with his fiery breath, as he rolled over the whole land. Men fled from before his face, and women fainted when his shadow crossed the skyline. He made the whole land a desert, and it came to pass, that this evil spirit, whom the people called the Beast, and who Guisch, of the Black Firs, came nigh to Dornoch, as near as to Loch Finn, from whence he could see the town, and the spire of St. Gilbert, his church.
Pity of you, Dornoch,
Roared the dragon.
pity of you, Dornoch.
Said St. Gilbert. And taking with him 5 long and sharp arrows, and a little lad to carry them, he went out to meet the beast. When he came over against it, he said,
Pity of you.
and drew his bow. The first arrow shot the beast through the heart. He was buried by the townspeople. Men are alive now who reckon distance by so or so far from the stone of the beast, on the moor between Skybow and Dornoch. The moor is now planted, and a wood called Kermore waves over the ashes of the fur-destroying dragon. From Alexander the coppersmith. The dragon killed by St. Gilbert, before mentioned, must have been a salamander, since it was born from a fire which has lasted 7 years. It lived in fire, and its breath burned all the forests of the Highlands. Only a man who should see it before it saw him had power to slay it. St. Gilbert dug a hole and hid himself in it, so as to get the first sight of it. A curious story, handed down in local tradition, about the dragon of Dornoch ought really to be tested. According to the tale, the dragon was slain by Gilbert of Moray, Bishop of Caithness. According to the oral story, Gilbert must have been residing near Dornoch when a terrible dragon, which infested the woods and lochs of the Mears to the west, created great alarm in the little city. The dragon had a penchant for plump little girls. He was a lengthy brute, with a long neck, and as he lumbered along the street he would put his head in at a window, and gobble up a fair maiden. No one dared to attack the beast, for he could spout flames. When Bishop Gilbert heard about the doings of the beast, he determined to kill it. The dragon usually came along the well-defined path from the woods of Kimore, by Loch Antriel, where it used to slake its thirst preparatory to its raid on Dornoch. St. Gilbert hit on a plan to destroy the beast, which was called YESHUA, the meaning whereof I leave to some kindly Gaelic scholar. Gilbert caused a long shallow tunnel to be dug in its path, having peepholes at intervals. Soon afterwards word was brought to Gilbert that the dragon was seen in the woods on its way to Dornoch. So Gilbert sallied forth with bow and quiver, and popped into the first hole to await the beast. When the dragon came within range, Gilbert let drive an arrow, and then scuttled along the tunnel to the next hole, blocking the entrance after him. He peeped out of the hole number 2 to see the dragon spouting fire into hole number 1. Gilbert let drive more arrows, and scuttled along to the next hole. He followed this method of attack until, looking out of the last hole, he saw the dragon weltering in its gore. They buried the dragon at the stone of the beast, which still exists near Loch Antriel in Kimore Wood.